It's the Triple Threat Podcast. Hello, my name is Matt Vaughn. With me today are my brothers, Alex Vaughn and Will Vaughn. Alex, how are you?
Fantastic.
Will, how are you?
Holla.
He's
Holla at
hollering.
you boys.
Hollying.
Holla at your bros.
This is a podcast where three brothers talk about things that are interesting to them, or two of them, or just one of them. We don't talk about in detail the ones the only one person talks about. That's okay. Will is in Vancouver, British Columbia. Alex and I are in Halifax, unless one of them is calling from a remote location that I did not know about before starting this podcast. Is that correct, guys? You guys are in those locations?
I'm currently in Guadalajara.
I'm in an undisclosed location. Oh, okay.
Okay, one of you say that. Okay, Will, you go first.
Well, Alex's was more interesting. Alex, you go ahead.
What? Where am I?
All right. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about, I think we're going to do a little bit talking about Star Wars. The title was obviously announced this week for episode 7, and Will also found an article that it will be an interesting topic of discussion. So we're going to start there. We will spiral out of control from there, and we'll see how things go.
Comedy Bing Bong coming your way.
And we're back. Okay, welcome everybody. Again, thank you for listening through that 8-second musical sting. So, Will.
Sting does our music now?
Sting. Yeah.
Does it Rose?
It's funny because the song is very... Our theme song is very bass heavy, so he could do it.
Yeah, he could.
It does sound a bit like Rush to me, which obviously the Police are very close to being a prog band from the 80s. I guess Rush is from the 70s.
Are they not new wave?
I guess they would be new wave, yeah. I consider them pretty proggy,
prog, though. I don't know. And we're talking about rock music from Czech Republic, right? Prog rock?
Prog rock.
Prog rockin'.
Yeah.
Where your feet.
We should talk about...
That's
Elton John.
I'm pretty sure it's Billy Joel.
And
in your face, Billy Joel.
Cola Wars, I can't take it anymore.
Will, what did start the fire with Star Wars this week?
JFK.
This week.
What else do I have to say?
Wow, you know those lyrics. I'm actually.
Of course he does.
You locked in those lyrics.
Was that sarcasm? I can't tell.
Take that, Mark McGrath. No, I think you knew the lyrics, right?
Yeah, but I just couldn't tell you. You're impressed. Yeah, nothing. Your level of being impressed is very high for knowing one line from "We Didn't Start the Fire." That's all.
I could probably do all of it if I needed to.
Here we go.
You could, if I needed to, gun to head, you could do all the lyrics so we didn't start the fire.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red Shine. Anyway, go ahead.
This week.
All right.
Okay, is there a car outside somewhere?
Yes, there's a guy who feels pretty horny outside.
Oh, ba-doom boom. Ching. Rated.
I can't tell you how long it took me to get that pun, by the way, the honk if you're horny pun. But I do live outside.
I just got that
now.
I just got it. that.
Okay, see, there you go.
Second.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, my gosh.
See, the thing is, it's the kind of pun where you get it and you're like, oh, that's awful. That's not even funny. But I can see that it is a pun. Yeah, it's half. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. It's something from the 30s. Hey, honk if you're honey. I'm just sitting on the girder of the Empire State Building here, just eating a sandwich out of my lunchbox that my wife made me, raising 42 kids.
A famous picture, you know that famous Empire State Building picture. My friend Christian, his great uncle or great grandfather was one of the guys on that beam.
Was in it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is he? Third from the left?
He's fourth from the right. So actually, we might be talking about the same guy.
I think we are.
Depending on the number of people, you're right.
Anyway, I digress.
You know what? I'm so glad. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit here. I'm so glad because every week I have to come up with an Instagram photo that nobody likes or comments on, but that's okay. I can't stop.
It's almost like you should stop doing that.
Yeah, but I also tweet at Matt, so shut up.
I always try to add something to it. Usually an embedded GIF, which I'm obsessed with currently. Embedded GIFs.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
Yeah,
you're a big fan.
Both in text
so I'm glad. I'm glad now that I have the Instagram photo that we're going to use. Actually, depending on what else comes up, but I always have a hard time coming up with an Instagram photo if we don't talk about anything particular like we're doing now. I like to lick a lemon lollipop in Lillehammer. I've done that tongue twister before, but I'm doing it again.
I've never done that.
Betty bought her butts and butter, but the butter Betty bought was better.
A lemon lollipop in Lillehammer?
Yeah, I don't think it's a real one. Actually, none of them are real ones. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
I just do the one
Sorry.
from like Anchorman. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet. The human torch.
Yeah, those aren't real
are tongue
ones, by the
twisters. I
way.
know they're vocal warm ups. The human
Snoopy
torch was
was stabbed
denied
by
a
a
bank
spear.
loan.
Okay. So those are all of them.
Will Taylor
so
Swift
now we
is the
have
new
the photo
Metallica. Discuss.
because she said that music shouldn't be free. So now everybody's going to be burning their Taylor Swift albums because she removed all her songs
It's just
from
a new Lars Ulrich.
Spotify pays so little. Of course, she would take her music off it. It seems insane that anyone would have their music on there at all.
Plus,
It pays
I think
so
no
little.
single artist
Nothing.
had 1 million records sold this year, so I think they're going for that too. That adds to it. I mean, that should add
Yeah.
to some sort of record sales.
We're all pretty big fans of T Swift here. Let's be honest.
I don't mind her, but I like
I'll
her
say
older
I'm- Okay, what are you, emo Taylor Swift fan?
Okay, you don't know what
Do you mean
emo
like
sold
you
out
mean
at
hipster Taylor Swift fan?
And
No, emos years ago would say that. Okay, I know I'm 10 years behind on
dude,
the scene
you're dating
right now.
yourself. Emos were just like a type of music, wasn't it?
It's
It
the
wasn't
only
like
date I can get.
hipster.
No, emo was like it's a way of life, man.
You're out of your element. You're out of your element, Will.
Let's talk
You're
about
like a
Star
child
Wars.
just
Well,
wandering
something that
the
is
movie
in your
theater.
element. Can we please do we just want to talk about
Is
this?
that how we
Trying
started
to
this
shuffle you
conversation?
that way. This isn't a conversation.
All right, let's talk about
This is
Nintendo.
this is
All right,
sadness.
let's talk about Star Wars.
Madness.
This is Sparta. So yes, for the
So calmly said that he just
uninterneted.
kicks a rock into the pit. This is Sparta. Screw it. I'm going home.
This is Sparta? This?
This is Sparta?
This,
I heard so many good things about
this
Sparta.
is-
This is Sparta? Are you kidding me?
this is
It's
this
a
is
low
so
rating on
far
TripAdvisor.
Off to a bad start.
Low rating on TripAdvisor, Sparta.
2 stars.
2 stars.
A man
Sparta.
tried to kick me into a pit.
And he was wearing underwear and
2
a leather
stars.
tape. Anyway, well, sorry. Go ahead with what you were saying before.
Sorry, what you mean the topic that Matt introduced?
Yes,
I was
the topic that Matt introduced 15 minutes ago.
Well, as you were saying that I as I was making you say, go ahead.
So, in this age of internet, and we've been enjoying it for, I'd say, 20 good years, because the internet in '94 was amazing. Let's say 15 good years
Sure.
of internet. I think we got the high speed in like '99, right? So that's when the internet for us really kind of kicked into gear, and now it's on our phones, in our pockets, on our laptops, and it's everywhere. So anytime any piece of news, any sliver, any crust, any crumble, any dust mite of news comes out, we jump all over it. So this week, I found out via Instagram. It was like very subtly. It was just like, yes, we just finished principal photography on Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, what? It's got a title. Oh, okay. The Force Awakens. Yeah, okay, whatever. And then, of course, it's going to explode and jump all over and be like, talk about how they don't like the title. I mean, you could call it, honestly, the title could be better, but it could have been something brilliant, and the internet would still be like, what? Sucks me.
If it could be called Star Wars Episode 7, Star Wars sucks, and it still
Do
would
you
sell
not
a
even
billion
know what
dollars.
it's about? Like maybe it has something to do with,
There are plot points, I think, that have been
that are known?
quote unquote leaked. I know. I
There's some
don't
that
know
I've
what they are either.
All I've heard,
I don't know what they are.
I've seen a lot of tweets of people being like, "Oh, I really wish I didn't read that about like this leaked Star Wars thing." So I have like really avoided it because I don't
Unless
know.
That's clickbait.
Yeah,
that might be like-
it's no. It wasn't.
It might be
there was no
reverse
link.
psychology clickbait.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology clickbait.
But
It's
I
like,
mean-
definitely don't click here. I'm going to click there.
Okay, let's talk about Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I don't think any of the other Star Wars titles are really like mind-blowingly like brilliant, so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah,
like
it's not like
even if you look at the
anything's
most
like fantastic. Like Star
Yeah.
Wars 9, Quantum of Solace. It's like, yeah, it's okay, I guess.
that actually
The titles are good
funny how
because we
fitting
like
that
the
is.
movies.
that would
That's
fit
why
very
they're
well,
good.
even though it's a James Bond movie.
Oh, was it? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, like Phantom Menace, not that interesting in a title. Attack of the Clones is one of the dumbest titles I've ever heard. And Revenge of the Sith just seems too like winky.
So pardon me if
I
I'm
remember
mistaken.
when
okay, go ahead.
like the frog from Donkey Kong Country, Winky.
Nice. That is, I like that deep cut. Good job.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, what I do want to say, I remember years ago, this is about 12 years ago, when Attack of the Clones was announced as the title of the second one. It sounded like they really wanted to throw back to those Flash Gordon serials. And I think they had a really cool poster. I think it was for IMAX. that it was really cool, like looked like a 50s Flash Gordon poster, so that was kind of cool. But I remember when it was announced, the title, they asked Hugh McGregor, it's like, oh, they just announced they're going to call episode 2 Attack of the Clones. He's like, that's a terrible title. And I read a spoiler. It's like, well, the thing is, the clones attack at the very end, and they're not bad guys. They're good guys. So Attack of the Clones makes it sound like, I mean, of course, obviously they become bad guys later, but Attack of the Clones makes it sound like they talk about the Clone Wars. So what it sounded like to me, and I remember when Timothy Zahn wrote his expanded universe books, which are now not part of the canon, but he would have he thought the Clone Wars were just like they cloned a bunch of Jedi, and I guess the other clones were like evil Jedis, and just added more vowels in the middle of their name.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was. It was like Luke Skywalker and Jorus Kuboth. Or sorry, Timothy Zahn aficionados out there. By the way, this is like Timothy Zahn. That was some of the first sci-fi I'd read, so I wasn't used to names. I hate in sci-fi the names where they have a consonant and then a apostrophe and then another consonant and then the rest of the name. So it's like Kubith. It's like it sounds like a sneeze. Son of a chew. But I thought that was a little odd the way he thought the Clone Wars were going to be, and then the way the Clone Wars actually turned out, which is that basically the clones are just an army of the Republic to fight robots. So it kind of makes sense. It's like, how do we get a bunch of people all of a sudden to fight robots? We'll just clone this one guy and make them all from New Zealand. But that was Attack of the Clones. And then, I mean, if you remember too, Star Wars, the first one that came out in 1977, had the subtitle "A New Hope" added to it.
That was going to be my question.
80s.
It didn't have it originally, right? Until they announced probably the sequels, because that was always just Star Wars. Period. End of title.
Let me.
I still have box sets that just call it Star Wars.
Yeah,
really.
Like
it doesn't say New Hope on it.
And actually, it doesn't say New Hope on it anywhere. And actually, the super original title was The Star Wars, but, it
was never released that way, though.
Justin Timberlake came by and he said, drop the Star Wars.
I was going to say that.
No.
What about...
We're on the same wavelength.
What about... Never mind. I was going to say, make it a million billion thing. It was retitled Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, with initial theatrical re-release April 10th, 1981.
81, yeah.
And
that's 4 years after
but also,
it came out.
That's 4 years after it came out, and also the branding of it still for years and years and years and years, up until the special edition. They weren't like, it's Star Wars A New Hope special edition. It's like, no, it's a Star Wars special edition.
Yeah, until maybe
all the prequels
97 when they came out, when they re-released them in
theaters.
theaters.
Special edition. Yeah, that's right. And then in 99 they had Phantom Menace and
when
come
Han
out, and I guess the title came. Yeah,
that
exactly.
is so brutal.
Then they changed it. They changed it to the DVD, and they changed it again in the Blu-ray. Changed it over and over again. There was 3 different iterations of a CG Jabba the Hutt talking to Han in that scene, which is basically a repetition of what Han says to Greedo, except he says the same thing, except they add the part hey, why did you kill Greedo? He's like, hey, look, Jabba, next time you want to get money from me, do it yourself. Don't send one of your cronies after me.
Is that when he steps on his tail and he's like,
he walks around and it's like. And you see, you hear the animators talk about it. It's like, well, at one point he talks about walking around him, which would be impossible unless he walked on his tail. So George says, why doesn't he just walk on his tail? Where he just kind of assaults Jabba in a way and no one does anything.
Yeah, very disrespectful.
I guess it's a little passive aggressive, but also he walks directly behind him, and to walk on his tail, he basically have to getting
steps
on a horse, you'd have to swing one. Listen, Jabba, 1 second here. Let me just put my leg over you.
You know what?
Actually, help me out here.
I'm just going to go back the other way here.
I'm actually just going to stay here.
Oh, found the fire exit.
Oh, I can't get out that way.
I can't get out that way.
And hey, Peter was Han Solo in the Family Guy version,
yes, he was.
We're actually not too far off. So my grander point is that the titles really don't matter.
Yeah, and I would agree with that.
It's just the title of a movie, and the movie is going to be what it's going to be. And I am avoiding every single spoiler I possibly can. I can't wait to see footage. I'm very excited. I remember when the trailer for Phantom Menace came out on Entertainment Tonight. It's like, we have an ET exclusive. And I taped it on the VHS I taped it on the VCR and watched it, over and over again. And I thought it was a really cool trailer, which included one thing it didn't have to, which was Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. I think that would have been a great surprise to save for the movie.
No, I get why they did it, though, because they're like, this is the only good part of the movie. Might as well just let people know that now.
I have a soft spot for Phantom Menace, though.
I do in a way, too.
On the top of your head, where your brain's not fully formed?
Hey,
is that why?
No, because it was like Will and I went opening night. It was exciting. I was like quite young, so I was like, it's okay.
It's actually the invite guy.
Matt was the perfect age, I think, for Phantom Menace, because Matt, you were 10, I think, when it came out.
Yeah, I would have been. 99. Yeah, I would have been 10 and a half.
Finished watching Spin City.
You would have been around.
It was like, good episode. I thought they did
as if that's not exactly what happened.
Went out to the Phantom Menace,
and then I read a book about the Titanic, and then I went to watch the Phantom Menace.
That's true. Yeah,
you boiled down my childhood.
Yeah, you were obsessed with that movie. But no, I remember back in the day when we went and saw Phantom Menace. So we went to see a 7 o'clock show.
Yeah.
And there's a big – this is at the movie theater Empire 6 in Dartmouth, which is now a library. So take that.
Bums me out to no end.
Books have made a comeback. Isn't that kind of ironic that books have forced out a movie theater in a way? I think it kind of is. There's got to be some level of irony there, but what do I know? I'm not an English major. I'm an English speaker. So we went to see a 7 o'clock show.
And an English major.
That's a good line for in the Army now too.
Yes, I did salute when I said it, which unfortunately you all missed because this is audio only.
Well, we heard the whoosh of your hand as it went to your brow and how it whooshed away. But Matt and I went to like a 7 o'clock show, but we saw this big lineup for a 9 o'clock show, I think, or 9:30. So we saw the lineup and we went up to the box office and we're like, are there any tickets left? Because it's a long time ago. Are there any tickets left for 7 o'clock? And they're like, yeah, we got 2. And I remember we got 2 tickets to the 7 o'clock show. We got pretty good seats too.
Yeah, man, we just walked in. There was nothing wrong with that.
Like, we weren't near the front or anything. Nope. I remember there's a little girl dressed in a Yoda mask running around. She tripped and fell, and everyone was like, and she got up, and it was like, yay. And, yeah, we watched the movie, and I remember the movie is like, okay, that left a little bit to be desired, but I thought it was a pretty cool movie. But going back to watch it, it's actually kind of a boring movie, which is too bad. Just like a lot of stuff kind of just
about those entire 3 movies.
A lot of discussion, that kind of thing. And I watched the 3D re-release that they did a couple years ago, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of a boring movie. In my opinion.
And if you're
but
saying
when it came out, when we watched it,
something.
And when
you were,
and when
big fan.
And when we got it on VHS, I watched it, a million times because it was like the newest Star Wars, so it was like really cool. And it was kind of like, okay, that was all right. We'll see what the sequels, kind of bring out. Because I think what I would have liked to see in the first one is like maybe Anakin, like he's trying to build the pod, and like Kitster's there, and he's like, Annie, this will never run. And Annie just goes, shut up, you don't know anything, and just like grabs Kitster by the throat. Anakin, what's wrong? He's like, oh, nothing. Oh, sorry, Kitster. Yeah, let's go play golf. It's so wizard. Remember they said that? It's like,
they did not say
come
golf,
on, Annie.
I remember that's so wizard.
Sure they said that. I remember it's like, come on, Annie, this thing will never run. Let's go play golf. See you later. And they're like, they run away.
You nailed that wooden line reading too.
It's just
Annie,
this
terrible. Won't ever run. Let's golf play.
It's not gonna run.
Us.
Hayden Christensen is easily the worst actor, like worse than Jake Lloyd, much worse than Jake Lloyd. Hayden Christensen. Agree, disagree?
Yeah. He's
horrible.
I don't think Hayden's a bad actor. I just think that he was
poorly cast.
Yeah, there you go. I think Hayden. I think he was okay. This is what I hear about George's direction. George, he says, I don't really give direction. I usually just say faster, more intense. So if he's just like plowing through these wooden, this difficult dialogue where he's like, I hate the sand. It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything's soft and smooth. and then that's how he seduces a queen. Not a gay man, by the way. The queen of the former queen of Naboo. He's like, everything's soft and smooth, and I just like it because the sand just gets everywhere, especially my hair. Not that every gay person speaks like that, of course, but anyway.
But the great majority of them do.
We've just alienated our gay audience. That's all right.
Sorry, gay listeners.
No, but yes, Matt, I agree. He's got a really tough time. Like the way he delivers lines, even at the end of episode 3, he's like, "You underestimate my power."
Well, you're so good at your Hayden Christensen impression; it's kind of frightening. It's like a very good impression of a very bad actor.
Is Will just a bad actor and he's just trying his hardest?
I really hope not.
Guys, I was just trying my best there. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you dressed up? I'm not dressed at all. I'm just a grown woman trying her best.
Dude, trying her best.
Eddie Bryant is fantastic.
The greatest. Oh,
I like
George Lucas needed to be reined in a little bit more. He needed more people to say no to him in general in that, or to say, hey, we need someone to rewrite this dialogue because this isn't a thing.
Have you not seen him after he watched the first cut?
No.
Oh, he's kind of like... He's kind of like, we may have tried to do too much. Like, I'll try and find some. I don't know where I found the clip. It might have been in that really awkward guy's, like, drubbing. You know that, like, monotone guy's, like, drubbing of the Star Wars? They're like...
Red Letter Media? I haven't been able to watch it because it just
his
sounds
voice
terrible.
Is so annoying. But, well, do you know what I'm talking about? I can't even describe it all that well. But it's just a guy doing, like, a half-hour, 20-minute to half-hour videos just, like, completely dressing down the Star Wars prequels.
I've not seen it. Okay. I just don't think it requires that. To be honest, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. You know, it's pretty obvious what's wrong with it, and you know, I guess we'll leave it at that. I'm not trying to apologize for anything, but I'm just saying that
you're
I don't know
a Star
if it
Wars
requires...
apologist.
You don't have to apologize for the prequels, though. You like Star Wars. The prequels happen to exist and not be great.
I don't have to apologize for anything.
This guy at my...
I mean, I watched them quite a bit in the movie theater. I mean, they certainly have entertaining aspects to them.
Mm-hmm,
that's for sure. Like they're not garbage films. They're incredibly well made movies. You know, as far as production goes.
Look,
but
I mean, you can say all you want about
story.
Phantom Menace. That like 4-minute lightsaber battle between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
So good.
That was awesome.
He's pacing.
That's mostly because of.
Oh, it's so good.
It's mostly because of Ray Park too.
Yeah.
A
Ray
couple
Park
years
Jr.
Yeah, he ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Force Ghost. No Force Ghost. Well, that's what he ain't afraid of.
Yeah,
that's right there. Something I wanted to mention real quick. Even Attack of the Clones, a movie that I had people over a couple of years ago to my house to watch just to make fun of it, just so we could out loud make fun of that movie. The part in the Rain Planet, which I can't remember right now, where Obi-Wan fights Jango Fett, is an awesome sequence. So even in a movie that's like so bad that I am willing to have people come over and watch it for only to make fun of it, there's parts of that movie which are actually kind of great.
That's a very cool scene. And I think the big battle at the end is pretty cool.
Does it not make it more at a place though, in a way? You're like, this is what it could have been. This is what you could have done. You had an idea of what quality was, and now I'm not really sure what you think the other 2 hours of this movie are.
I would say the action in these movies is on point in every regard.
Yeah,
the action's on point. It's just that the dialogue and the story is what it needs help.
It's legitimately been 10 years, I think, since I've seen any of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No Word of a Lie since like before, whatever what's that?
Well, it could be 10 years because Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005 and this was 2009 or 2010. Never mind. My comic book guy.
It's 2014 for the record. You said 2009 and then 2010.
And it's Monday morning when you listen to this podcast.
Yes, it is.
Real quick, I just want to... It's funny that the action is good in it because that's the one thing that George Lucas couldn't really have as much control over because he just had people... they would just choreograph stuff themselves. He would be like, and then you do the backflip and then...
Well, I mean, any director's going to do that, do that anyway, where there's
well, the Wachowskis, when they did... because George, again, he's like, I just go to a part in the script and I just say they fight, and then he just moves on. But the Wachowski brothers, when they did The Matrix, they would like when they wrote The Matrix, Alex, when they were brothers, which they're siblings now. But I'm going back to when they were brothers.
Okay.
and they wrote The Matrix, they were very specific as to the action that they were writing.
Well, some writers are like that.
Like they wrote
right?
it out very carefully.
Like even in say like a Coen Brothers script, like all the pauses and the like inflection are all in the script versus, I don't know, any other ones where, no, I shouldn't say any other ones, but a lot of other writers where it's not, it's a little bit looser in terms of how someone's going to interpret the character, but for the Coens, it's very specific. So some people will direct an action movie and it's just an action scene, and then you get someone who specializes in that to coordinate it, because I don't want George Lucas coordinating any action scenes whatsoever.
Yeah, because
you just got a team.
You certainly can't go walk through it. He just kind of sits down and directs. Yeah. I remember they were talking to Peter Stormare after he made Fargo, and he's saying that there's a line. He's like, "When are we going to Pancake's house?" And he's like, "Okay, shouldn't that be to the Pancake House?" And he's asking the Coens about this. Like, no, it's Pancake House. Just say it like that. It's like, we know what we wrote.
I know
no
what it says. Your character's saying it differently.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we're the Coens. There's no typos in a Coen Brothers script. Trust us. We know what we're doing, kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, George certainly. But I think when he undertook the prequels, at the time he did it, he probably wasn't prepared for everything that he had to do. He probably really wasn't, because if you remember in the first Star Wars trilogy that was released, he wrote and directed the first one, and he got hypertension from that. So then he handed over the direction in the second movie to Irvin Kershner, and then he handed over the directing of the third movie to Richard Marquand. So he took a step back from the director's chair for those two movies, and just served as a producer. And I think he had help too from Marsden writing it. I think I got the name wrong, actually. But when he did the prequels, he was not James Marsden. No. When he did the prequels, he was kind of all hands on deck for that, himself, and he kind of had like very much creative control over that, which is maybe why he handed over the reins to Disney. He ran over that whole Lawrence Kasdan. Wow, I was way wrong.
Now that you say that name, I really should have corrected you or should have known to correct you, because that is clearly the name. Sorry.
So no, that's great. So this is one of the reasons why I'm excited for this next trilogy, because being handed over to new directors, and he's still
out of his hands entirely, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think he probably showed up to set a couple times, though. He's like, "What are you guys doing?"
Of course he did. Yeah. But I mean, that's a little different than writing and directing and producing.
And I do have to mention this, and I think it's been mentioned before on the show, but Mark Hamill right now is the same age Alec Guinness was when Alec Guinness made Star Wars in '77,
which is crazy.
How old is he?
Which is cool. 60 something.
Oh, is he that old?
Yeah.
I guess it came out 37 years ago, so...
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
Yeah, he's probably like 25 when the first one came out, so... Is he 60? Let's see.
He's 63.
He's 63, everyone. Oh, his birthday is September 25th. That's close to another birthday.
Hey.
Day before mine.
You know
I think Will Smith's September 25th, too. I didn't know that, yeah. Well, the Sedin twins, Daniel and Hank, of the Vancouver Canuck hockey team, their birthday is December 26th. Yeah, Will Smith is born September 25th as well.
Some of his pictures from Comic-Con 2012, he looks more like Jabba the Hutt than he does Alec.
Am I right? You know what Mark Hamill could use? He could use DDP Yoga. DDP Yoga is a strength and fitness program designed for any person of any fitness level.
All right, if you use the
promo code... I need to plug our promo code. You don't. Promo code Triple Threat Podcast.
We should stop giving free advertisement to things so that we can get real advertisement.
Certainly don't watch Star Wars The Force Awakens in theaters December next year.
Don't you shush me.
Well, you're being gently not shush.
Why do we shush animals? They've never spoken. I say that every time I shush anything, because John Mulaney is my only frame of reference for any reality. Okay.
Can I ask Matt a technical question right now?
Sure.
This messaging
I'm not going
system,
to allow it.
This messaging system on Yosemite, how do you turn it off?
So that you stop getting little like bips and bops.
Dings.
Oh, I get those all the time.
Just take your Do Not Disturb off for now, and then you can change your notifications later.
Well,
this has been Yosemite Corner.
Can't you go into preferences on
you
the
can,
actual
but
app
you might as well. Yes, but you might as well turn off. Just put it to D&D for now, and then I can let you know after.
And while it's
National Defense,
and while it's on my mind,
yes.
Alex, your car has been referred to as Iron Man Silver, Iron Man Gray.
Is
that what they called it?
My car's Iron Man.
Yes, but they called it Iron Man Gray, right?
Silver,
the color.
Yeah.
But Iron Man's red and yellow.
I know. His prototype was silver. I said that immediately after driving it. I said, but Iron Man's red and gold, basically. So, yeah, but they call him
Spider-Man
Iron Man
green.
Yeah. It's Aquaman maroon.
Hold on. Okay, so I just want to talk about Star Wars a little bit further.
Sure.
One other thing.
Sure. Go for it.
Will, you have something you're going to bring up. It was the thing you saw online.
The floor is yours.
But I'm going to talk about... I just want to say, like, if you watch Return of the Jedi again, you will be shocked at how much time they spend in Jabba's palace, which could have been much more short.
Oh, it's 400.
Shocked. I don't think it's shocked. I think it's all that shocking, but sure.
I would be shocked, I guarantee you. I'd be like, there's still this palace?
They're still there. They're still there.
Well,
I'd be like an old Jewish man at the deli. This palace, I'm telling you, we're still here.
The hell? Okay, 1 second.
All right.
Okay, hold on,
This
everyone.
thing.
I'll try and fill in space.
No, I just got to fix these messages.
No, I have to fill in your space now. This is what's happening.
Oh my God.
And then, okay, so I said my piece of Return of the Jedi.
Matt,
Will, what was... You sent a link to us.
Yeah, but I want to just finish what you were saying.
Yes.
They spend a lot of time at Jabba's palace, but The Empire Strikes Back ends with them being like, okay, we got to go get our friend.
I'm not saying don't go there. I'm saying spend 10 less minutes there.
Okay, what 10 minutes would you cut out? The Rancor pit? You probably cut that out.
No, I would cut one of the Rancor pits.
There's two?
Well, yeah, but the girl hardly gets... You have to introduce that the Rancor is
Have
there
the girl
first.
fall in, and then 30 seconds later, Luke falls in. It's not. There's a way you can set that up to make it much easier. It's just like now this like C-3 and R2-D2 come in. Now Leia, as disguised as a bounty hunter, comes in with Chewie. Then Luke comes in. It's like, what is going on? Like, let's just. There's easily cuts there. Cut the Leia thing. Have her in disguise or something like that. Just because you like it doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that happens in it. It just you could have added like 10 more minutes anywhere else. You could have had 10 more minutes with Ewoks for all I cared. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Okay.
No, I think you need everything. I think everything in Jabba's palace had to happen.
You should watch that again with open eyes.
I did. I watched it as recently as May, and that was at the end of the marathon.
May, would you say?
Did you watch it for 5 days in May?
Maybe I'll eat some hay. I just may. What do you say?
Maybe go home, eat some clay.
So if you're watching it in this order we're about to talk about, then it comes at the end of a very long series. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I've not done this.
Good.
But I think okay. I'm very angry today, Matt.
I'm not okay. Hey, I'm fine. Everything's good.
No, you're all fired up. It's okay.
Monday morning, Matt. You're like Garfield. You're eating your lasagna. You're hating what's going on.
Everyone is like Garfield. Mondays are always bad. Yeah, lasagna's good. Everyone's like Garfield, which is all admitted.
Lasagna's good unless you're lactose intolerant.
Okay, let's set up the scenario. Will, you have been tasked with getting a 10-year-old to watch Star Wars. They've never seen it. They've never even heard of it. Which order do you show the movies to them in?
I mean, me personally, I would not show it to them in this order we're about to discuss.
What order would you show it to them in?
I'd just show them the original trilogy and then the prequels. That's the order I would show them in.
I would say that is the only logical order.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so you found an order that I've seen online before that people are like, oh, you should watch it this way or get someone to watch it this way because it totally changes everything. Right?
I mean, it's an interesting theory. It's just a nerd theory. It's just like, what if you watched it in this order? So this is what's referred to as the Machete order. Nothing to do with the Danny Trejo film of the same name.
Don't you start and end by watching Machete, though? Isn't that
you start it with watching Machete,
well,
and then
it's
you
the palate cleanser between each film. So, whatever the first film is, Machete. Second film, Machete. Third film, Machete. Fourth film, Machete. Fifth film, Machete. Sixth film, Machete. I had to get all the way through.
And then you got to watch the Spy Kids trilogy because Machete.
Well, what about the fourth one with Joel McHale? Joel McHale.
Is that his theme song?
That's like the intro to him on The Soup.
Oh, okay.
You ever watch The Soup?
Really popped that. Holy cow.
Please pop that PR.
I apologize to everybody's eardrums for exploding. So this is the proposed order of the Machete Order, and this is how it goes. It goes, you watch Star Wars A New Hope, and you watch Empire Strikes Back. So right there in Star Wars, you're introduced to the universe. You're introduced to Luke, and then he meets Han, and then you meet Leia, and so you get your three main people, and R2-D2 and C-3PO are there, opening up the whole thing. And then in Empire Strikes Back, everything kind of goes to hell at the very end. Han's frozen in carbonite, taken away by Boba Fett, and then Luke finds out that Vader is his father. At least he doesn't find out. Vader tells him, and of course he doesn't believe him at all. And that's where you end that, and then you do a flashback.
Okay, oh god.
And then you do a flashback to. Can you let me finish?
No, I know. Just keep going.
I don't know the order. Like, you guys read the order. I saw the link. I'm just commenting as you go, as a bystander who doesn't know anything about what you're talking about.
This is great. I like this. Alex going in cold. He can give the brutal honesty of it all. Okay, well, keep going.
I'll go in cold all day.
And then you flash back to episode 2. When Anakin's a kid.
No. You go to 1 and then 2, right?
No, it skips. You throw out 1 entirely.
What?
So it goes to
way
2.
stupider than I thought.
It goes to episode 2.
You're also partially cold. You were lukewarm, Matt. No pun intended.
Episode 3,
lukewarm pun was
where
awesome.
he becomes Vader, and then you go back to Luke fighting Vader in episode 6 in Return of the Jedi. And then you get kind of a satisfying conclusion where you kill the Empire and everybody's happy about it. So that's the proposed order that this guy came up with. One of the reasons for throwing out episode 1 is that 3 of the characters introduced in that are gone by the end.
Yep, like in movies.
2 matter and 2 don't.
Javier Bardem was introduced in Skyfall, and at the end he's no longer there. Let's take that out of the Bond canon.
All right, that's
so stupid. No, this is dumb. No, that's dumb. This whole thing is stupid.
Listen.
Will, why do you? Okay, I want to hear you out, and then I want Alex.
I'm just going to discuss one side of it because you guys are dismissing it completely. But Qui-Gon and Darth Maul are introduced in episode 1, and they're dead by the end of it. And Anakin is a kid, and he's not a kid in episode 2. He's quite a bit older. We jump forward 10 years. So Anakin and Obi-Wan and Padme go from 2 to 3. And then they do go from 1 to 2 to 3, but in a different kind of way. I mean, Luke, Han, and Leia go from, Star Wars to Empire to Jedi. And so does Darth Vader. And Darth Vader is obviously the constant in all this. But there's a lot of stuff introduced in episode 1 that you kind of don't need, but you kind of do. They introduced the whole prophecy of why they need to train up Anakin, despite the fact that he's, too old or whatever. And then at the end of episode 3, Yoda kind of says, well, maybe misinterpreted the prophecy was. So this way, I think the point of this is to preserve the reveal at the end of Empire, because if you watch the prequel trilogy first, then obviously the whole time that he turns into Darth Vader, and at the end, they give birth to Luke and Leia, and then you watch the old trilogy, and you're like, I'm your father. Like, well, yeah, we already know that.
Okay,
but if you watch it original trilogy first, then it preserves the I'm your father reveal, and then you get to the prequels and you're like, okay, well, we all know what's going to happen at the end of this. So perhaps it is to preserve the fact that you don't know that he becomes Darth Vader at the end.
I feel like it's so ingrained in our society. It's like anyone watching Sixth Sense for the first time and being like, what? Like, even if you've never seen it, like, and I think like the same thing here. But I don't know. I don't think there's any justification where you're just throwing out 1 just because of those reasons. I mean, it gives you a backstory on Obi-Wan and why he's even with Anakin and things like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't.
No, I know there are some things that they get shown that
you guys discussed. There's really no other way to watch it than how they're released. Really, in my opinion, like I'd never watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Personally, it's 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, unless for the first time watching it, I would watch the like Matt said. If I'm showing it to a 10-year-old, I'd be like, okay, so watch this kind of old serial from the 70s and 80s, this old school kind of movie with new effects in it for some reason, and then I'd be like, okay, so they made these movies a long time ago. They're really awesome, and then they made some more. in like 99 and the 2000s, and now they're going to come out with new ones. But these ones are going to tell. The exciting part about 7, 8, and 9 is that we have no idea where they're going. We have no idea what the story is. I mean, at least when they were developing Episode 1, we were like, okay, so I guess Darth Vader's a little kid. It's like Patton, that famous Patton bit. It's like, oh, he's a little Damien Omen kid, like killing people with his mind.
Yeah, and he's sad.
No, he just looks real sad.
Yeah.
So that's the exciting part about this new trilogy. So, I mean, if you're showing it, I know a kid here. Some friends of mine have a kid. I think Ryan's like 10 right now, but he was like really into Clone Wars stuff just because that's the stuff he was raised on. He's just the different generation. He was like an Episode 2 kind of kid. He likes the clone troopers and he likes Anakin and Obi-Wan. And I think if you told him about Luke and Han and Leia, he'd be like, who are they? It's like, but they were the ones, from before. But I
want to comment on this.
Yeah. So we'll talk about this. I agree. It's flawed, by the way. It's just a nerd order.
This order of Star Wars is like, there's a lot of things that exist online that only exist because it's like, hey, you know how there's one normal, reasonable way to do something or view something? What about this? It's just contrarianism. It's just someone saying, instead of watching Star Wars in the order that the only real order that makes sense, what if you do it like this? And I understand what the intention is. I think that breaking up a trilogy in 2 parts to try to preserve a reveal that's not really there anyway, as Alex commented, that Empire Strikes Back is so into the culture. If you go into Star Wars knowing that Darth Vader is Luke's father, doesn't hurt the movie. I'm sure it was mind-blowing in 1980 when people watched it, but it was still great now. And, we watched it and still love it. Like, Empire Strikes Back is still one of my favorite movies, despite knowing pretty much from birth that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
Yeah, because they whispered it in your ear when you were born.
Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate it.
We didn't get into Star Wars until about the time the special editions came out, because remember our uncle would show it to us. He had it taped on VHS, and we'd watch those. But, we didn't really experience them in theaters until, the special editions came out. And that's when we really kind of got into it. And Star Wars, I think, experienced a bit of a renaissance at that time.
Plus,
it was really exciting. But, every kid knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father. Just like, I knew so many lines from or so many things that happened in Exorcist when I watched it, that I knew so many things happened in Godfather when I watched it, just because these movies are so ingrained in culture that you really can't grow up without having them spoiled, because everybody knows them. They're incredibly well known. It's like, how to follow the Yellow Brick Road, maybe if you were born in the 40s.
There you go.
I was not born in
I like The Wizard of Oz.
It's also
I like The Tin Man.
I like Santa
If you introduce the movies...
I like turtles.
Don't talk to me. I'm thinking.
If you introduce these movies and you show them to them like, okay, here's Star Wars, like just Star Wars A New Hope. It's also like, it's a movie from the 70s, but like at least you have the kid who's ready to watch that kind of movie. Like they're not going to expect CGI. And then they watch 4 and they watch 5 and then 6. They're like, oh, those movies are great. And you go, yeah. And then here's some other movies, and some of the flashbang can kind of probably help propel those in the kids' eyes to be a little bit better than they actually are.
The fancy effects, they'll probably like that stuff. Yeah, I agree.
But this is this order is just a waste of internet. Why don't even write about it? No one's ever going to do this because it's a terrible idea. And the episode 1 thing is just weird. It's like you have to they were trying to tell a story in the trilogy, and there's characters who leave in the episode 1, but it doesn't mean like, oh, it's useless. Just get rid of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just characters dying doesn't seem like a good enough reason to get rid of a whole movie, especially considering like the best, like one of the absolute best moments in the prequels is something we already talked about, that lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
And you just want to get rid of the whole thing? Cool. That's insane. It's bananas.
It's both insane and bananas.
Bananas.
Well, obviously I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it, just because I can do it. I wouldn't describe it as a waste of internet, man, because I don't think you've gone deep enough in the internet to justify yourself saying that.
Hey, I'm not saying there's not a whole lot more waste of the internet out there.
A:(F6? Is that what he says? I can't remember now.
It's just an interesting. To use a word Alex likes, it's an interesting way to look at it. It's like how they say Titanic is tied to Inception, because at the end of Titanic, spoiler alert, Leo goes in the water and dies, and then at the beginning, and then he washed up on the shore in Inception.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Oh my gosh, I've never.
It's also simple, and you don't have to explain. Like, it also makes more sense.
By the way, next week, Interstellar review coming at you.
Birdman review from me. That finally came out here.
Good.
I'm very excited about that. So
I will review my lunch from Wednesday, whatever it turns out to be.
That Big Hero 6 movie looks
Wendy's.
pretty good. I think I'm going to check that one out.
It's
Yeah,
Disney.
it looks pretty adorable.
Yeah, speaking of Star Wars, Disney does that Big Hero 6 movie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so good on them. Either way you slice it, I mean, not to mention, too, that Star Wars, I think the films work enough on a standalone basis. I guess if you're a guy like me and has seen all of them, so many times.
Guy like me.
Just watch
I'm a guy like me.
by themselves. You just pop an Empire on a certain night and just enjoy that. I actually lent out my Blu-rays to a friend of mine, and I need to toss it, leave it, and then pull up quick to retrieve it. Yeah, I think so.
So, go ahead.
There is a rumor, too, speaking of stars and words that take place after them, that Star Trek the Third might be shooting out here in Vancouver, which is a nice spot for sci-fi type movies. Well, if you saw the little trailer for a movie called Tomorrowland, that was a movie that they had shot out here, too. That's a cool looking trailer, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, trailer for Tomorrowland. Looks kind of neat.
What is that, Brad Bird's one?
I have seen it.
That's Brad Bird's one. Yeah, it doesn't tell you anything, but it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. But that was shot here, and yeah, hopefully Star Trek 3 will come out here to shoot, and I can be a red shirt in it and die right away. I'd be very happy to die. Very happy to die. That's a terrible line taken out of context. And that's what I'll say about that. Matt, you were going to start saying something else about something else?
I don't think I was. I think I nailed it.
Alex.
Go ahead, Alex.
As long as if we've completely stopped talking about Star Wars.
We're done with Star Wars. I'm done with Star Wars.
Let's talk about
We'll bring it up.
NFL football.
Sure.
And how
okay, yeah.
How the drubbing that the Patriots laid on the Broncos last weekend. I would watch that every day if I could. Much to pop that in on a Tuesday night and watch it, much like Will would Empire Strikes Back. So. I mean, I know we talked about it last week, and we were very general about it, for anyone who had recorded the game and wanted to catch up on it. That's why we were being general about it, no other reason. And, so now we can talk about it. And the Patriots thwomped the Denver Broncos in New England 43 to... What was it? 43 to 22? Something like that?
Nothing, I think. Didn't score.
Yeah, it was 43 to 8. No, that wasn't it, but close enough. Yeah, so Pats are looking good going into the bye week, and big schedule coming up ahead. But I was thoroughly impressed through and through. Offense, defense, special teams, and now we're on to bye week, so that's good.
That's it.
Then on to Cincinnati really became a thing. If you haven't seen Frank Caliendo doing Bill Belichick, you should check it out. It's only like a minute and a half long.
And my team certainly didn't fare as well against their divisional rivals.
Yeah,
that was a little rough.
Roethlisberger is playing out of his mind right. Your division makes no sense to me, first of all, with what happened in Cincinnati on Thursday night. Holy cow.
I know. Listen, I had Jeremy Hill in my lineup, and he did nerfing for me.
For 86 yards. He had a 2 quarterback rating. His quarterback rating was...
Yeah, and I had the Cleveland Browns defense in my fantasy league, and I dropped them in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Well,
but I have won 8 games in a row.
Special teams, isn't it? The Philly that you...
Well, it's
defense
both.
Special teams, yeah.
It's D/ST.
You know what sucks, too, is I have a league, like one of my leagues counts special teams touchdowns if your guy returns a touchdown. So Julian Edelman returned an 84-yard touchdown. I'm sure you all know very well. Tom Brady went to visit him in the end zone. So that got points in my Yahoo league, which I don't have him, but I have him in my NFL league, which did not give me points for it. So
I think one of the reasons I'm doing better this year at fantasy football is that I just have one league. I dropped my NFL league because I did really bad in that.
I have 3.
How are you doing in all of them? You winning all of them?
I'm third, and 5th. So I'm in the playoffs for all of them as it stands right now.
So you're half ESing it. You got 2. You got a cheek in each league, so you got 3 ES cheeks.
I'm in the playoffs for all of them. I have solid teams all throughout.
But you get the playoffs figured out already?
No, but I'm in position to be in the playoffs as it stands now.
Yeah, but the season ain't over yet.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not in. I don't know. I'm never first in a league, really.
But I think. What do you guys think? You think we're headed for the way it looks now at this moment, at this time? The Jazz are the worst team in 40 years. That we'll see a Steelers-Pats AFC final. Is that at all likely?
I think putting the Steelers.
The way they're playing the last 2 weeks.
I don't know. The Colts are a terrifying team, and the Broncos are still the Broncos. So I wouldn't say anything yet. And Baltimore could go 7-9 and make a run in the playoffs. They're just that team that can do that. So it's hard
the Colts
to say.
got stomped by the Steelers the week before, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was the team that they put the.
Really good.
That's the team that they put the hurt on first. Was the Colts, and then they decided to keep the hurt on for the Ravens, which is Roof Stoof, and it was Nagood. Both of those.
Roof Stoof.
It was Roof Stoof and Nagood. It was both of those things. So NFL football is a heck of a thing. Sid Crosby, number one of the league right now, and the NHL in points. I do believe so.
The most
heck
points
of a goal
for the least ever.
The heck of a goal from Vladimir Tereshchenko the other night. If you haven't seen that goal, definitely look that up. It's going to be on 1v1 for quite some time.
That's what I said about Gronk's catch, and then Tarasenko had that goal, and then Gronk's catch wasn't as close anymore.
Yeah, well, hockey play. We all know how 1v1 works. It's hockey plays, and then
if the
anything
Canadians
else.
Guy gets in, it's on there for a long time.
It is on there for a long time. I'm actually going to a game this Friday. I will be seeing the former Winnipeg Jets and the former Phoenix Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes, as they head to Rogers Arena to face the Vancouver Canucks and their Red Hawk goaltender Ryan Miller, who's only, at the time of this recording, Monday morning, has only lost one or maybe two games.
Again, that's for anyone who's recorded the game from Saturday night and hasn't checked it out.
That's true.
So.
I do not
want like giving out spoilers.
Do not want to spoil it for anybody.
But Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah,
remember that thing? It was like, well, Vader is literally father in German, so it's like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
What is father
in a movie? I can't remember what one. Like it was an actual fact. I want to say like I don't know, Friends with Benefits or No Strings Attached or whichever one has.
Shoot!
Wait, that sounds more familiar though.
I know what movie you're talking about.
I think it was No Strings. No, just. What's the one with? I don't know.
Wasn't it
Mila Kunis? Wasn't it? And she was like, "It's this," and you're like, "All right," because she can be like one of those bro-y girls who like knows everything but doesn't actually.
One of those bro-y girls.
Yeah, like she'll pretend to know a lot about sports or something.
It's
in a movie
Pitch Perfect. That's
Anna Kendrick says it to the dude. Yeah.
I hated it. Yes. That was one of the reasons I hated Pitch Perfect.
Oh, that movie got so blown out of proportion. Everyone's like, Pitch Perfect. I was like,
I watched it and was like, oh, I hear this movie's fantastic. Let's watch it. And then I watched it and I was like, this movie is lacking greatly.
And having said all that, Matt? I love Anna Kendrick. So that's saying something if I didn't like Pitch Perfect very much. I'm an Anna Kendrick apologist if you ever had to be one.
I liked it a lot, maybe because I wasn't as hyped into it as you guys were.
I wasn't like hyped, but yeah, I don't know. It was just everyone.
You were told
if it's on TV, I'll watch it.
I won't. I won't. I do like Adam Devine though, so.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I like when he's on Twitter. And people are talking about The Voice, which has Adam Levine, which is one letter off his name. And people will be like, man, I love Adam Devine and Blake Shelton on The Voice. And I'll just retweet it all the time. Like, oh, you're so close. You're so close. Completely different guy. But
so they use the at.
Yeah. Like if someone was named Bloke Shelton and he was just like a bloke of some sort and he had to retweet that all the time.
Alex Fun retweeted Mike Vrabel to all the Houston area pawn shops. 3 Super Bowl rings are headed your way, courtesy of the what does that say? Who smashed her back door in? Yeah. See, I don't retweet anything with a swear in it because I know Mom follows me, so I think.
Yeah, but she knows that I'm not quoting. I'm not saying it. Someone else is saying it, and it's worth knowing that Mike Vrabel, former New England Patriot, former Kansas City Chief, now on the coaching staff in Houston under Bill O'Brien, who's a former offensive coordinator for New England, and Ryan Mallett, former quarterback of New England, is now going to be the starting quarterback in Houston. So there's a lot of New England, connections down there.
Who's that?
And,
who's that big fat guy with the beard who's on the Pats? I think he's like the defensive coordinator. Okay.
Matt Patricia, yeah. What about it? What about it?
Just asking. He's like one of the youngest coordinators in the league, right?
He is, and McDaniels was too. Like back in the day, McDaniels was one of the youngest coordinators, and then when he became the head coach at Denver Broncos, he was, I think, the youngest head coach in the league. I want to say. So,
Broncos.
Yeah. Anyway, so don't go around stealing NFL rings, guys. Guys worked really hard for that. Mike Vrabel was a big part of all 3 Pats ones, so I hope he gets those back somehow. Unlike Robert Kraft getting his back from Vladimir Putin.
I also hate that.
Yeah.
So speaking of at Adam Devine, this week on Twitter. Would you guys have your picks for your best and worst?
No. Certainly do. Just don't ask right away.
Certainly do. Yeah, I do. Oh,
just don't ask right away. I'm asking, and it's
okay. Yeah, well, you guys have to give me a minute because I actually printed your guys off, and now I got to go get them out of my filing cabinet. So if you just
now, Alex on Twitter, are you Alex from Target? Is that you?
I am Alex from Target. Yes. I have no idea what that is.
That kid's apparently getting Hollywood agent offers, which just surprised me.
What is it?
The least shallow place on earth is giving kid an offer because of he looks hot. That's all it is. Just a photo of this kid named Alex. He works at Target. It's this young, attractive kid who would fit well on a CW drama. So everybody in Hollywood is pooping their pampers over this guy. They're getting really excited, and that's about all I can say of it. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way the world works, and it's.
Did Teddy unplug Nintendo or something?
It's a terrible place.
Were playing at one point?
So when I was playing Majora's Mask years ago, I got pretty far into dungeon, and this game has a save system where. By the way, Majora's Mask coming to 3DS next year. I'm excited about that. But this game has a save system where you have to reset your 3-day cycle, and everything gets saved, and you still have all your items. But if you save at an owl and you turn the game off, then it won't start at the owl. You have to save properly. And then if you turn the game off after that, then it won't save at the owl. It'll go back to the beginning of everything. So I saved at an owl. I got through this dungeon pretty far. Teddy was this little pup. This was back in the day. He was zipping around downstairs, and we pulled the N64 out from the entertainment console a little bit so I could lounge on our old blue chair that we had. I think still have. No, we don't.
No.
But, okay, don't give me that now.
No.
Now. And then anyway, Teddy was zipping by, and he unplugged it with his little paw, and I was like, ah! And I hardly played the game since then because I had to get to that same spot, and it was very difficult.
You needed counseling after that. That was a hard time for you.
I was upset.
You were upset.
But it's coming out on the 3DS, so I'm gonna definitely gonna pick that up. And yes, that's right. Teddy can't unplug it now
because he's in heaven with the rest of the dogs.
We're all dogs consoles. With him and Tess just hanging out there, just
bugging Truffles. I imagine they're ghosts just bothering our cat.
Just pawing at cats and eating pie and getting toppy. So, Alex, here's one tweet I don't get, which you can explain. It's your couch. Your couch is bad at football.
Oh yeah. I had a friend who bought a couch, and the couch was called Peyton. So, that was the name of it. The brick has, some of the couches are named Kent or this, that, and the other thing, and that one was named Peyton, and it was just after the Pats games. It was your couch is bad at football.
Well, Peyton still got me 25 fantasy
I know,
points.
I know.
Which was more than my alternative. It's Colin Kaepernick got negative points.
And who gave you that advice? You said, who do I put in, Colin Kaepernick or Phil Orlovsky? Dan Orlovsky, sorry. And I said, put in Peyton Manning. Put in Brock Osweiler and see what he'll do. Throw me the ball and watch what I do with it. Oh, let's open this. Oh, here we go. Hard ball. Anybody? No? All right. Your turn.
What?
Throw me the ball and watch what I do with it. That's what Jermaine Dupri says before the song Hardball from the movie Hardball, starring Keanu Reeves.
Alex, right, I like your tweet where you sent a GIF to Cineplex where you suggested you couldn't wait.
Can't wait. And I like that GIF, even though Bart Scott is saying that after they beat the Patriots in New England in a playoff game. So it's fine. Shane Vereen also burnt him bad last year against the 2-year butt fumble game. So it's 3 years ago now? Anyway. So, whatever. We got him back. Yeah.
All right.
Will, I thought you had a tweet this week that was horrific. Sorry. Damn that word. That was not very good, and now I can't find it. Have you deleted a tweet recently?
Was it the Bacon Hater thing?
No, it was way worse.
He loved that
than
one.
It was way worse than that.
Was it the dull aching one? I'm just looking through Will's Twitter now.
It might have been the dull aching one. I almost responded to it. It was like, thanks for falling on your sword on behalf of the Triple Threat podcast, because it was really bad. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken.
Hey, Mom liked that dull aching one. She was a big fan.
Yeah, I like the bacon hater, even though I really didn't, but I kind of did. I thought only Emily was allowed doing bacon-related tweets, but I guess she doesn't have that copyrighted, so I don't know, my bad.
Yeah, Matt, I think my favorite one of yours is the MacBook Air pocket.
Air pocket.
How does a house coat have a pocket that big? It's incredible.
I do wonder what it's actually for.
Matt, you didn't get my tweet when I added you the other day? Yes,
I was gonna
on Friday.
I was going to tweet you back with just a link to the Wikipedia page for Maoism.
Oh, what's that?
Because you kept writing the Chinese political philosophies of Chairman Mao. Because you kept writing moist, and so I thought let's put Maoism there because it looks like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though. I was just waiting for you to invite me to Moist live at the casino, and you never did. So
I went. It was a fantastic show. They played that song "Push," or I don't know, what are they saying? There's a time where like every song. Matchbox 20 band had like a Push song, and Matchbox 20 had one called Push. And so
just keep saying push because that P pops really nicely.
Moist.
Push. And definitely stop saying that word.
Roll glass full. I prefer the better things. People with no money act like money isn't everything. I had to change a word to people, but it wasn't people. It was a rap song, and the word wasn't people. Yeah. So Bacon Hater, shout out to Will. MacBook Air, shout out to Matt.
Funniest man on Twitter.
Shout out to me.
Yeah. And also video to watch of the week if you haven't seen it already. One of the weirdest one of the weirdest Adult Swim videos to come out that's hit it the biggest for some reason is Too Many Cooks. So definitely check out Too Many Cooks. What was it? It's called Too Many Cooks.
Have you seen the Tim and Eric Totina's Pizza Rolls video?
No, but I'm sure it's probably along the same lines.
Please go watch it immediately.
I have another video you guys should watch. This past Saturday, the Wired, the Twitter feed at Wired, they retweeted a link someone sent, and essentially it was a YouTube video that's like an hour-and-a-half documentary on nuclear proliferation or something like that. And toward the end of it, like there's a minute where the host is just walking down the street. You know how like in documentaries, hosts will just walk down the streets and explain things. People walk behind him, all that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, clearly, right behind him, like at the point where the video starts, right behind him just walks George Lucas, who walks by, looks in the camera, and keeps going. And it's very clearly him, and he kind of walks in the same direction as the host for a little while. It's just weird to be like, oh, that George Lucas just happened to be exactly there, and it's remarkable. Especially
that is kind of funny.
It's very funny. So if you go find that link, I might retweet it. It's enjoyable.
Yeah. Put it up on the Twitter. And speaking of where we can find you on Twitter, Matt, where can we find you on Twitter, Matt? Even though everybody who has listened to this show has probably heard it every single episode. Yeah,
you can find me at mpvaughn on Twitter, and you can also find at that Twitter feed the retweet that I just retweeted of that George Lucas video that I just was talking.
You just retweeted it on the weekend, I think, a little while ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, when I said that it was on the Wired feed, I meant I found it there, and now it's retweeted on my account.
Definitely not recently. Well, now you can't tweet you can't tweet on Sunday, which you didn't do, Matt. I remember you didn't tweet on Sunday at all. That was kind of weird.
What tense is this?
That was odd.
It's like past future.
It's Days of Future tweets. Alex, where can we find you on Twitter?
I'm at www.twitter.com/Evonix.
/Evonix. Yes, you are. Yeah. VAUGHANICS.
EX.
So that's it, folks.
You didn't say where you were.
I'm at William C. Vaughn, but I got 600. I got 600 followers, so everybody knows where
I have enough followers. Okay.
If you do a supernatural episode, you'll get a lot more. Trust me. Okay. Thanks for listening to this very fighty episode of the podcast. Our folks are going to hate it. They're going to not like this at all because we're fighting.
Bring up the Nintendo thing. We didn't fight at all.
Oh yeah. Speaking of folks,
we'll see you next week, guys. Love you all. Bye.
Oh man, that's good. By the way, there are some audio blips in this. We're experimenting with new ways to record this, so there are a couple of hiccups. We're aware of it, and yes, thanks a lot for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
I just said that, you son of a.
I know. Say
You be in apartment 23, you.
Hey.
I don't trust you one bit.
Do not trust me. Did you see that thing, by the way, that I sent you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, we're going now. All right, we're going now. All right, for real.